this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So, me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning.
I cannot believe Baldoni's team released this voice note thinking it makes him look good. If you're Blake Lively, then getting a rambling 6-minute voice note at 2 a.m. from Baldoni where he talks about your boobs and how he wants all of you is genuinely disturbing. And once again, we see Justin has no appropriate sense of boundaries with a coworker. The context of this voice note is as a response to the infamous Khaleesi text messages, where after having made changes to the rooftop scene, Lively conveyed to Justin that his feedback didn't feel great to hear. Talking about her advocates, her husband Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, she says, "When they loved and signed off on the pages, I felt good to send them to you. They asked what you thought specifically after. I told them you laughed a bunch and said it's probably a blend, but you appreciate my passion so much." Which of course didn't feel great for me, or them, to hear my passion be praised instead of any specific contribution. Or just that you didn't like the pages, which was fine also. So I think they wanted you and me to see how they felt about the work because they have been by my side for far too many experiences where I have been overlooked. They have watched me handwrite scripts because the director is too afraid to send the final draft file, and yet he scans and has someone hand type all 120 pages of my pencil rewrites. They've watched me be hired as a writer and paid a significant fee for it on the condition that I never ask for credit, which I could care about. It's more the principle of the dynamics at play. They've watched the other side of it too, where I'm told at signing on I'm wanted as a true collaborator, but once we get to work I'm really just wanted as a yes man audience and actor. It is a heartfelt message about how she struggles to advocate for herself, and that she's grateful for Ryan and Taylor who help her to have more confidence. That throughout her career, her contributions and input are taken without credit and recognition, allowing others to profit off of her labor, and that she often doesn't speak up because of fear of the fragile egos of others in the industry. And how does this male ally respond to her friends empowering a woman and advocating for her? By seeing it as an unspoken threat to his own power and control. In his own complaint, he says the message could not have been any clearer. Baldoni was not just dealing with Lively, he was also dealing with Lively's dragons, two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities in the world who were not afraid of making things difficult for him. Which is a bold claim to make given that Taylor Swift had to take time out of her schedule to issue a statement in response, and that statement was, "I have no idea who this man is." Not only that, but this voice note response to that message, which he claims is a threat, he is deeply apologetic and praises her contributions.
Reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I fucked up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of.
His response to Lively saying she felt disappointed about getting non-specific platitudes instead of actionable, specific, and direct feedback was to leave a 6-minute apology full of non-specific platitudes. Not only does he sound like every fake spiritual guru, "I'm not perfect, I apologize, but I return to center," but he never actually specifies what he's apologizing for, highlighting how he struggles to build authentic connection. His voicemail also utterly destroys his own lawsuit. He's not being threatened or extorted. He is literally begging for her creative input.
We should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that.
But outside of the very creepy way he's talking about his coworker at 2 a.m., the damaging part of this voicemail is his word-for-word predictable response to her experience with other filmmakers.
I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just pissed me off. Those heads that, I don't, I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me.
Well, that age like milk. It shows he absolutely understood the context of her message to be about her past working relationships with other filmmakers and needing to advocate more for herself, and not as an implicit threat or an attempt at extortion to take control of his movie. It shows that his entire complaint and narrative about being threatened by Lively is a complete fabrication. But what continues to confuse me is that for a man who has supposedly been very publicly doing this deconstruction work for the last 7 years, there is not a single person in his circle, on his creative team, to lean into his ear and tell him how bad this looks. Showing that not only has Baldoni very clearly never gone beyond surface level in his deconstruction, but all the people he's hired in his inner circle haven't either. There is no one around him to offer advice and educate him. No one that he leans on or goes to for wisdom. He is coasting on vibes. Meaning not only do he and his team keep putting out these incredibly damaging releases that show behavior that would make any woman deeply uncomfortable, but until he accepts that he needs that guidance, he is very unlikely to ever change.